what shall we call him? He is Emmanuel, the promised of ages. The King of glory comes, the nation rejoices. Open the gates before him, lift up your voices.
Welcome to Cathedral. I'm Father Greg Sack with special thanks once again to, I want to first begin with Liz Fernandez, accompanied by Lori Doyle. So Liz seems to now be the producer and co-producer. Liz, producer, co-producer, Lori. So Liz and Lori, thank you very much. Special thanks again to Mark Tracy and David Jonas each week now for 5 years. Beautiful music, so thank you, Mark and David. This would normally be the fourth Sunday in Ordinary Time. This weekend is the presentation of the Lord on the 40th day after Christmas. I'll begin this way. 3 rough-looking bikers walk into a truck stop where a grizzled old-timer is having a breakfast and minding his own business. One of the bikers extinguishes his cigarette, the old guy's pancakes. The second biker spits a wad of chewing tobacco into his coffee. The third biker dumps the whole plate of his breakfast onto the floor. Without a word of protest, the old man pays his bill and quietly leaves. Not much of a man, was he, says one of the tough bikers. Not much of a driver either, says the waitress. He just backed his 18-wheeler truck over 3 motorcycles. He quietly got even. Now, speaking of surprises, today's feast is difficult to understand, this presentation of the Lord, unless we know about a couple of Jewish laws. The first law is that every firstborn male, whether it was a person or an animal, was considered as belonging in a very special way to God. You will find this written in the book of Exodus. If it was a male animal that was born, it was offered up as sacrifice. If it was a baby boy, a sacrifice was offered for the child. The second Old Testament law we need to look at is in Leviticus. It stated that when a woman gave birth to a baby, she was not permitted to participate in temple worship for 40 days. After 40 days, she had to go through a service of purification and offer a sacrifice so she would be admitted to public worship once again. This explained why today's feast is the presentation of the Lord, celebrated 40 days after Christmas. The October 7th, 2013 edition of the New York Times carried this wonderful story. In September of that year, a mom walked her daughter to her first day of 2nd grade grammar school. That evening, Mom and Dad opened a resealable plastic bag the teacher had given to each parent. Inside was a packet of peppermint herbal tea, a cotton ball, and the following note. Dear parents, time flies. They made it to 2nd grade. Welcome to another promising year. I want to thank you for entrusting your child to me. I'll do my best to be your child's companion in learning this year. After you take a deep breath and wipe your tears away, make yourself a nice, warm cup of tea. Then put your feet up and relax. Hold the cotton ball in your hands. The softness will help you recall the gentle spirit of your child. I will work along with you this year to help your child grow. Very sincerely, Mrs. M. These 2 parents had no doubt their daughter would have an extraordinarily great year in 2nd grade. Now, being a parent or teacher is an extraordinary trust. To accompany a child on his or her journey to adulthood requires total sacrifice and a lot of patience. To raise and teach a child is an experience of both incredible joy and devastating heartbreak. But as most parents and teachers will tell you, there's nothing more fulfilling than being a mom or dad and a teacher. Mrs. M, the teacher, understands the vocation of parenthood and realizes the role that we all play in creating a nurturing, affirming environment to help children learn to grow and to love. Today's solemnity of the presentation of the Lord celebrates the challenges and joy of family. We all have such hopes and dreams for our children. We all know all too well that life can be cruel. To life, our dreams can be shattered. Our sons and daughters' dreams and hopes can be left with tears. We want the best for our children. We want our children to be held by the hand of God and then also held by us. It is as a family that children can best experience the love of that in their lives. We dream all kinds of dreams for our children. We hope for nothing but for the best for them. But the most important dream we can dream for them, the most important gift we can give them is this: faith in God who made them, faith in God who loves and forgives them, faith in the God who will be with them all the days of their life. My mother gave this to her 4 children. I share the following story. I shared with you that presentation. From perspective, the presentation of the Lord connects the mystery of God with our lives through family. Think about this for a moment. Studies have found that 40% of our worries relate to things that will never occur, 30% to things we cannot change, 12% to health while we're still healthy, and 10% to petty concerns. Only 8% of our worries are about real problems. Thus, 92% of our worries are unfounded and wasted. Someone once remarked that worrying is like looking at life situations through a dense fog. The total moisture in a dense fog of 100 feet high, covering 7 city blocks, can fill the glass of water. So in the very same way, if all our worries were reduced to their true size, we could probably fit them into a glass of water. Why then do we cling onto them? I think all of us, or most of us, we worry or stress way too much. And winter doesn't help the situation with worry and stress. So I want us to lighten up for a moment. Now, speaking of up, there is a 2-letter word that perhaps has more meanings than any other 2-letter word, and that's the word up. It's easy to understand up, meaning toward, up the sky, at the top of the list. When we awaken in the morning, why do we wake up? At a meeting, why does a topic come up? Why do we speak up? And why are the officers up for election? And why is it up to the secretary to write up a report? We call up our friends, and we use the word up to brighten up a room, polish up the silverware. We warm up the leftovers and clean up the kitchen. We lock up the house, and some guy fixes up the old car. Other times, the little word has real special meaning. People stir up trouble, line up for tickets, work up an appetite, think up excuses. To be dressed is one thing, but to be dressed up is special. A drain must be opened up because it is stopped up. We seem to be pretty mixed up about up. To be knowledgeable about the proper use of up, look the word up in the dictionary. So go look it up. In a desk-sized dictionary, it takes up almost 1/4 the page and can add up to about 30 definitions. If you are up to it, you might try building up a list of many ways up can be used. It will take up a lot of your time, but if you don't give up, you may wind up with over 100 definitions. When it threatens to rain, we say it is clouding up. I'm not done yet. When the sun comes out, we say it is clearing up. When it rains, it wets the earth and often messes things up. When it doesn't rain for a while, things dry up. Sometimes we need to cheer up. Catch up. Listen up. How about a glass of 7-Up? I could go on, but I will wrap it up. For now, my time is up. By the way, I mean it very seriously. If the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl, I may throw up. And before I conclude, special congratulations to Lori Doyle, whose beautiful grandson, Benjamin, we baptized this Saturday, or if you watch this on Sunday, yesterday. So to either Grandma or Gigi, very young looking Grandma Gigi, congratulations. To all of you, God bless. Amen. Look upward.
Will you let me be your servant? Let me be as Christ for you. Pray that I may have the grace to let you be my servant.